I'm Mike.
And I'm Adam.
And this is Stuff and Waffle. Two friends talking about stuff, and often as not, waffling with frequent reference to Bond cars.
Right, we're back again. And we start, as we have done for many weeks now, with you trying to claw it back.
You have consistently managed to remain ahead. There's a couple of weeks where you've not increased your lead, but I remain behind at this point, which is extremely annoying. So I'm keen to do well here.
Yeah, are you feeling ready?
I'm all over it.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's been a busy week, but we're here, and I'm ready to get on it here. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's true. We should point out it has been double busy. Neither of us are fully awake.
No.
But we
no, and no, indeed, that's a good way of putting it. No, not fully awake.
But right, okay. You've got your device open, ready to write down a statement or two or three.
I have a noting area. Yes.
Perfect. Right, statement number 1, short and sweet. This one. The EV1 was the first car in General Motors history to be badged as GM.
Ooh. I am familiar with the EV1.
We've actually gone into that in quite a lot of depth previously.
We have, because it's quite an interesting car.
And the story with it is fascinating.
It really is. It's a really interesting tale. If anyone's interested, I don't know what episode we did discuss it, but
no, that was the bit I was sort of bumbling around the issue there, going.
But
he'll know which episode it was. But
I don't know which of our episodes. No, I haven't got a clue. But check out the movie "Who Killed the Electric Car" because it explains it all. And it is a fascinating story. However, the first car to be badged as GM. Okay. Okay. I'm not going to commit myself at this point. That's very interesting.
Right. Mm-hmm. There you go. That's all right. Statement number 2, again, relatively short and sweet. The Smart Roadster had the same wheelbase as the 997 generation Porsche 911.
They had the same wheelbase, just make sure I've got this down, as the 997, you said?
Yep.
Yeah. I think I might have read that somewhere.
Well,
okay.
I couldn't possibly comment on such things because, I mean, you know many things.
I do. I do consider myself well read on automotive nonsense. Yes.
Oh, I wonder where you're going to go. I do consider myself as someone who can read. Yes. Yeah.
Well, as well. Yeah. Although not always.
No, absolutely.
There are times things get a bit fuzzy.
Oh, yeah. Well, that can happen. It's an age thing. I wouldn't worry too much about it.
Yeah.
Statement number. The interior door handles on the late model Jaguar XJSs were the same part used in the original Mazda MX-5, the Mark 1 NA, if you want code numbers.
Interior door handles on the first generation XJS. Did you say? Sorry, let me just clarify that.
Yes, let's go through that. The interior door handles on the late model Jaguar XJSs, so very much towards the end of its life, were the same part.
Facelift. Yep.
Yes, were the same part used in the original Mazda MX-5 Mark 1 NA.
The NA MX-5. Huh. Okay.
And just to be clear, but actually, this is my fault of not pinning it down enough. When I say door handles, I mean the actual door pull that you pull to open the door, not the handle that you use to close it. My apologies.
Right. Okay. The actual operating of the latch handle to
Exactly.
pop
Yes.
it open. Yes, I've got you.
Yeah.
I have got you. Now, I have been in a late model XJS because I have a friend who has one, and I have travelled in it on occasions.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm knackered if I can remember what the door handles look like.
I see.
Which is a real shame. I should have paid more attention.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Have your friend going. Do you mind sort of engaging in conversation? Like, no, I love your door handles.
I love you. I just need to stare at your door handles.
Yeah.
Oh dear. I could message him. Oh no, that's cheating, isn't it? I can't do that.
Yeah, you can't have outside help. That would
You can't
nullify the game.
No. You can't ask a friend.
No.
Yeah, could you just pop out to your Jag? As you wouldn't know though, would you? Just by looking at it, how could you tell?
No,
you'd need an MX-5 there as well. And he hasn't got an MX-5.
Well, there you go. That's that experiment null and void.
Oh no, that's no good, is it? Right, let's have a good old think about this. Now, let me go, since we're on the XJS, let me take that one first. I'll go in reverse order.
Fine.
Now, the late model, when did the XJS go out of production? I think it was early 90s.
You, based on my knowledge, you are correct. I think it went right into mid 90s.
Yeah, I think it did with the facelift, because the XJS was in production for such a long time. Launched in 1975.
Yeah.
And I think it went all the way through basically unchanged, apart from a cosmetic facelift, until I want to say 95, 96. They finally stopped it.
I think you're right. I think. God, I feel like I'm helping you, but I think it nudged into a 20-year lifespan, and I think
it did.
I think that facelift that we're referring to, or you're referring to, it was probably in the last 4 or 5 years of its life.
Yes, it was. Yeah, it was. They changed the lights front and rear. They changed the windows. The interior was slightly updated. Better instrument binnacle, all that kind of stuff. They were still producing it with the V12 engine.
Yes. And can I just say, I'm not a fan of the facelift. I'd go.
I know what you mean. It's irrelevant to this statement, but while we're on the subject, I know what you mean. Those sort of smoked wraparound rear lights. They also changed the badging, and it didn't look like the badging that was on the boot of Fords at the time. And of course, it was under Ford ownership at that time.
Yes, well, that says an awful lot.
Yeah, if I was to go for one, I'd be tempted to go for a really early one, with the sort of comedy instruments that it had, with the sort of sliding needles up and down, and the big inappropriate California rubber bumpers and all that kind of stuff. There's something about it. The slightly compromised ride height and all that kind of stuff.
But I think you're completely right, and you like you're saying, when you're into the sort of Ford ownership era, it's just like the XJS was not at its best, was it?
Mind you, it was originally built under British Leyland ownership, so is that any better? Yeah, is that any better?
I'm basing it purely on
Um,
visuals, if I'm brutally honest.
But basing it on visuals, I would not choose a facelift. No, I would choose a. I'd probably choose a mid to late 80s one because I think they were built a little bit better, but they still had the original lights and grill and
Yes.
that kind of stuff. So
Yeah,
I think that would be the sweet spot for me, I think. However, none of that is relevant to its door handles. But what I was trying to do was establish was there actually an overlap between late model XJS and first gen MX5, and I think there was, so it's feasible.
Well, God, again, helping my pervy knowledge. The Mark 1 was 89.
Yeah,
Um,
and both Jaguar and Mazda at the time were part of the Ford group, or at least Ford maintained a significant shareholding in Mazda. In fact, I think they still do.
Yeah. No, good point.
So, I don't know. It's feasible, but I don't know.
Okay.
So let's park that for a second. Let's park that for there were a lot of part sharing going on at the time. DB7, which was launched, I believe, in 97, if memory serves, which was basically an XJS underneath. The first gen of that, the pre-facelift of that, I believe the front indicators and side lights were from first gen MX5. I'm sure that's true. I could have used that one, couldn't I? That was a really good one.
Well, that's that wasted, yeah.
No, but it illustrates that sort of thing was going on at the time. Okay, park
Your
that one.
reasoning is sound, and yes.
Park that one
Good
for a
good
moment.
knowledge.
Yeah, I'm sure that's true. Well, certainly the DB7 was an XJS underneath. That's
there's
documented
no doubt in
fact.
that.
Yeah. As gorgeous as the DB7 is, it was not a new design by any stretch of the imagination.
No, not underneath. Absolutely not.
No, not at all. Still gorgeous though. So, Smart Roadster has the same wheelbase as the 997 911. I'm sure I've read that somewhere.
I see.
I'm sure I've read that somewhere when researching statements. I'm sure I've come across that. It isn't on my list anywhere, but I'm sure I've read that somewhere. Something in the back of my mind says that is true.
Okay.
So let's park that where it is. Now the GM EV1. First car to be badged as GM. Can that possibly be true? There was stuff before that badged as GMC. Definitely. But badged as GM, as they sort of are now. I don't know that. I'm trying to think about what the EV1. I'm trying to think of the badging on the EV1. I can see the EV1 logo.
Yeah,
because I have seen one in person because there was one at one of the fully charged events that we went to. Someone had brought one over from Europe, a black one.
Yeah, like we said at the time, some of them have survived.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, there was a concerted effort to keep them out of GM's hands and save them. And there are actually quite a few around. I mean, not compared to the numbers they made them in, or the numbers they were destroyed in.
Quite.
And again, if you're not familiar with the story, it's worth looking into. It's incredible. But was it Badge GM? I'm not sure about that, but I am pretty sure about number 2. And
Okay.
I'm fairly sure that number 3 is. I want to say that's false. Was the EV1 badged as GM? I think it might have been. I'm familiar with what they look like, but I cannot precisely remember the badge. I remember the EV1 badge. I don't remember the GM badge. Oh, that's a curveball. That's a really awkward curveball as well, because it's a car we know quite a lot about. But
that's cruel, isn't it?
Yeah, it is mean, that one. It is mean, that, and you've thrown Jag in there, which is also, something I like to think I know a little bit about. Okay, but again, it makes sense because the EV1 was going to be the future and the great experiment, and it really was cutting edge technology, and it genuinely was cutting edge technology when it came out. So badging it in a new way, a new brand for the future, it makes sense. And there will have been vehicles badged as GMC before that, absolutely without question. But because we're talking mid-90s, the EV1, and there were certainly GMC vehicles around before that. So, okay, I need to decide here, really, don't I?
I mean, let's face it. Yes, you do.
Yeah, that's the name of the game here. So, I'm strangely confident that number 2 is true because I'm sure I've read that. Door handles on the XJS, same as MX-5. Okay. I'm going to decide. I'm going to say the EV1 is true. I'm going to say the Roadster having the same wheelbase as the 997 is true. And I'm going to say XJS door handles from the MX-5 is false.
I see. There we go. We're locked in.
Yeah, I've made a decision. Yeah. That's what I'm going with. Yep.
You're having it. So the big question is, if you're having it, are you getting a point back here?
Oh, I'd really like to.
Imagine a drum roll. I don't have a button for that.
No, edit one in.
Oh no, you know I'm not that motivated.
No, it's too much effort.
I can reveal to you here and now that you are in fact correct.
Yes.
Okay, you go.
I thank you, sir.
Yeah,
very good. Yes. Oh, lovely stuff. Lovely stuff.
So yeah, absolutely bob on. So GM was the EV was badged as GM. It's that was it. For very much the reasoning you gave, pretty much again, it was the experimental car, the next big thing, until it wasn't.
Right. Until they decided it wasn't. Yeah, indeed. I'm just looking at some pictures now because I can, and yes, it is indeed badge GM on the left of the boot lid.
Yep.
Yes, there is what we would now consider the modern GM badge. Yeah. Yep. Very good. Cool.
That's all right. Cool. You're completely correct about the Smart Roadster, and it's having the same wheelbase as the 997.
I'm sure I've just read. That's not something I would have known, but I'm sure I've read it somewhere.
So that's pervy little fact. 2,360 millimeters, if you're interested.
Oh, very good. It's good to be precise.
Now you're gonna love this when we get to this third one here, stating that the interior door handles on the late model XJS was the same part used by the original MX-5. You are correct; they were not. However, do you know what? Your reasoning around the Ford ownership of Jag, Mazda, and many other brands at the time was so on point. Because, in fact, the Mark 1 MX-5 shares its door handles with...
I'm not quite sure how to help you.
Oh my goodness me, the Amazon lady's getting involved. Shares its door
off
handles.
Then. Yes.
Yeah. Shares its door handles with the DB7. Good.
The very example I gave. My word.
Yeah. That was awfully close because I went for the exact reasoning. I played dumb while you were foraging around for an answer.
Thinking, oh God, he's got it.
Yeah. I deliberately played on the fact that Ford owned everything involved at the time. I was like, well,
yes,
DB7 is the real answer. I'm going to go with late XJS because
is what the DB7 really is.
Yeah, so
yeah.
We've got Jag,
like
Mazda, Aston, all owned by Ford, and like, right, well, this is. Let's see if we can sell him on it, and we could not.
Ooh. No, it just didn't. It just didn't feel right.
A bloody
because why would they change the door handles? XJS had been in production for 20 years at that point. Why would they change the door handles all of a sudden?
And I can't guarantee that they didn't. Or maybe they did. Maybe I was basing my fact on that they didn't, and the Mazda just pinched the XJS ones.
When was the XJS facelifted? Hang on, just give me some rope here for a second.
So I think the XJS was facelifted. I think the crossover wasn't enough. I think the facelift was 91.
Facelift, correct. Yes, the XJS facelift came in 91, and MX-5 launch
89.
Yeah, it's tight, isn't it? But
it was enough to try and sell you on it, though. So
yeah, it was feasible. It just didn't ring true.
We had a go. It's all right. It's all right. We're at 6.5.
Well, I've closed the gap.
There's a
I've
point
closed the gap. Yeah. So, ooh, neck and neck now. Right. That's pressure on for me next week, isn't it? Otherwise, you could get ahead again.
Yeah, you need some humdingers for next week.
Well, I'm going to have to get together with my boy on this one and get some real bad ones out. Yes. Okay.
All right. There we go. That was. I was quite pleased with those. I mean, I'm bitterly disappointed that you won, but I was quite pleased with those.
Not quite good enough.
No. But
okay,
cool. I was pleased with my work there. I hope.
Well done. No, they are good. They are really good. And to throw the EV1 in there and a Jag, yeah, that's lovely.
Yeah, it's a bit naughty.
Yeah, nice ones.
Yes, indeed. Right. Now, beating around the bush and all of those sort of things.
If you would.
We've got to tackle a thing.
Yeah, there's been some news, hasn't there?
There's been developments this week. Hot off the press. I mean, we were rather handily. We were in the same room when it was you stumbled upon it.
we were actually together when we learned this news. Yeah.
Mm.
Which was kind of fortuitous, and it's big news. It's big
Yeah,
news
well,
in the world of Bond, and I know not all our listeners enjoy it when we talk about Bond. So we're going to be talking about Bond for this next section. So if you want to go and make a cup of tea or whatever you do,
yeah.
now would be a good time.
Yes, consider your ears penetrated. So
It doesn't work like that, though, does it? On the internet, you don't have to. You don't have to go
No.
and make a cup of tea whilst it plays. You can skip forwards
showing our age there.
just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not good. It's fine. It's fine.
The internet doesn't work like that.
No, that is correct. So, what the news we'd wish to unveil is that we. Oh, well, so unveil. Everyone already bloody knows, but we're going to talk about it anyway. That we have a director for the new Bond film.
We do, and yeah, it's a good choice, I think.
Yeah, I think we're relatively safe because it was announced this week that it's going to be Denis Villeneuve.
Yes.
In terms of recent fame, that would be the 2 Dune films, and prior to that, the new Blade Runner film.
Blade Runner 2049. Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. All sci-fi, of course, but nevertheless.
Yeah. Because we were talking actually and saying that God, we watched anything of his, and I had a rummage. I've seen Blade Runner. I haven't seen the Dune films. I really must apologise. I really must apologise because they're apparently excellent. I've
heard the same. We haven't seen them either. No.
I have seen. No, I think I'm saying it right. Cesario, which is his action crime thriller type thing. That was bloody brilliant. So I've seen a sci-fi of his and an action thriller. I think we're going to be all right.
I think we're going to be all right. I'm just looking up the press release. Yes, I have it here. In which he says, if I can find that bit, oh yeah, here we go. So he said, some of my earliest movie-going memories are connected to 007. I grew up watching James Bond films with my father ever since Dr. No with Sean Connery. I am a die-hard Bond fan. To me, he's sacred territory. I intend to honour the tradition and open the path for many new missions to come. This is a massive responsibility, but also incredibly exciting for me and a huge honour. So,
well, it's a good response.
There we go. It's a good response. They do seem to be putting some serious people on this.
Yes. So the lineup is steadily forming. We discussed, we had producers, now we've got a director. We did, when the news was unveiled, we tried not to have a conversation about it.
We did. At that precise moment, as it worked out, we had nothing else to do. So...
No, we weren't overly swamped at the time, which was, I mean, not a bad state to be in.
No, it was fine. But we did perhaps have a little more discussion than we would otherwise have done.
Yes. So we need to probably pick up where we left off of going, well, actually, now we've established that set of people, it's inevitable that we're going to need some writers. I mean, what we're not going to do is sit here and speculate about actors. Pointless.
No, we're not going to do that. I think what they will probably do next is appoint some writers and get a story outline, because that will potentially colour who they cast. because if it's going to be an origin story, they might want a younger actor. If it's not, they may want an older actor. It'll depend on a number of factors, who the villain is and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
I think they'll want an outline of a story. So I think the next thing we're going to get is some writers. Now, whether that will be Neil Purvis and Robert Wade, don't know. They've obviously been involved with writing Bond for a long time now. Since GoldenEye, I think. They've been writing Bond.
Yeah, I think you're right there. And what I think we need to sort of establish, and we did touch on it again, I think there needs to be an element of continuity just to see the change of hands through.
Yes. In what way are you thinking? In terms of the supporting cast?
No, I just mean that it would make sense to have the writers back, just so that we've got someone in the mix who is familiar with.
Yes, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah. So some continuity with what's gone before, which Purvis and Wade would be able to deliver.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I think I know we've speculated previously of just going, wouldn't it be interesting if we had the same supporting cast, be it Moneypenny, Q, all of them back? But I think as time passes, that becomes less relevant.
I think it does. And I think maybe if they are going to do it, depends what they do with it, doesn't it? If they want to carry on in the same sort of vein that we've had before, maybe bringing back some of the MI6 crew would make sense. But I think a bit of a clean sweep would be the way to go. And let's start again. And let's have Pierce Brosnan as M. Let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that. I mean, yeah, but
let's do that.
Well, you can't. Oh God! I mean, can you imagine Bond walking into M's office and M sitting there going, "Well, don't I look bloody dashing?" Because let's face it, that's not M's bag, is it?
No, that's true. It's not. Perhaps he's a little too polished for him.
But
but anyway, regardless of that little fantasy, it's.
But never say never.
Yeah, I get never say never again.
I'm never going to watch it again. I know that.
No, I wouldn't advise anybody wasting any time on that. No. I get what you're saying about some continuity and some familiarization with the stories that we've had over the last 20 years. And yes, GoldenEye is now 20 years old. Let's not focus on that.
No. Oh my God! I mean, to clarify, when we say it is, have we passed the actual birthday of it now? I can never bloody.
I don't know. Actually, that's a very good point.
Because it might not be that old yet.
Oh my God! No, I'm wrong. It's not 20 years old, is it? It was 1995. It's 30 years old.
Oh, shit.
Yes, it is.
It's not yet. It was November. It was released in November. It's fine.
Oh, we got a few months. All right, it's 29.
Oh my God! Right, I'm closing that tab. I didn't need that information.
I saw that at the cinema when it first came out.
Oh, don't. What? No. That's enough of that.
Oh, how has that happened? Oh no, that's terrific.
Awful. Absolutely dreadful. And it comes back to that fact of like every time you see Pierce Brosnan, you go, "Oh my God, essentially he's got 30 years on me," and I'm like, how are you doing that, man?
It's terrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
You look at him and you think, how are you doing that? I don't understand.
Bastard.
Yes.
So back to the news in hand. What's fascinating is that the pace is looking way more promising than we've ever had, and I think since Babs has been shown the door,
it's accelerated, hasn't it?
yeah. Amazon have realised and gone, well, what we need here is some return on investment. And I'm really pleased to see that they've taken the correct approach, which we were a bit worried about, and they've gone, well, it's going to be a movie.
It's going to be a movie. We're bringing in a serious director. I would think writers next. The outline of a story, which obviously we won't get to hear, but they'll have one. And then an actor, and whether they have anyone in mind or not. I mean, obviously the press is now full of who's it going to be again, but that'll calm down. Because nobody knows.
No. It's just tabloid nonsense at the moment, isn't it? Let's face it, because
it is. There's no substance to it at all.
We all know that Aaron Taylor-Johnson's name won't go away, but Idris Elba's name wouldn't go away, and look how that turned out. So
yeah, quite. So yes, quite. It may be somebody completely out of nowhere. They've done that before, but we'll see. Certainly, the director will have a hand in casting, I'm sure. But I think he will want at least the outline of a story to go into the casting process with. Because how does he even? What does he know what he's casting for? Otherwise,
well, quite. Yeah.
Got to have at least the outline. So I think writers next, and then we'll get a star. Will we get that this year? I'm now getting more confident again that we might.
Yeah, I think. If I'm gonna have a punt, I think December time we'll get an actor.
December time, okay, yeah, that's feasible.
Yeah. That's where my head's at with that.
We said in whatever year No Time to Die eventually came out. I forget. Was it 22?
October 21, I believe.
21. Okay, I know all the dates except that one. I don't know why. I just can never remember that one.
I said it with vague confidence, but I'm actually going to attempt to back that up with fact.
I'm just checking as well. 2021. Yes, you're quite right.
Okay.
We said that year, and we went to see it in October.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And because we went together, and we said then that we thought we'd get an actor announced by December of that year. How wrong we were.
Yeah, it didn't go well, did it?
No. But now that things seem to be picking up a pace, as you rightly say, with old Babs stepping aside, or being paid off, let's be honest, things do seem to have picked up a pace. So yeah, let's hope. Writers next, outline of a story, then the actor, and that I think could happen by the end of the year. So there we go.
That
very cool.
Yeah, blimey. That is tremendous, isn't it?
It is tremendous. We've finally got some movement, and they do seem to be taking a good path with it. The two producers they've put on it have got a good track record as well. Now we've got a serious director. See on the writers whether they will go to Purvis and Wade or whether they'll bring in somebody completely new. We will see.
Yeah. Well,
But
as ever, we'll report back on it. But it's nice to see, it's gaining traction. That's the
yeah,
main thing that we want to take away from this particular bit of news.
absolutely. Isn't
Yes.
it
Okay.
wonderful? Yes.
It is. Right. Now we can go back to cars now, can't we?
I can go back to cars now. Can I give us some Jaguar news?
Yes, that's what I wanted. I wanted us to end on this particular nugget that you've been working on. So yes, I
Okay.
would very much like it if you would do that for us.
Okay, so yeah, I looked into some numbers to see where we're at now. And yeah, came up with some figures. So allow me to ask you to. I'm going to ask you to take a guess on something. Okay. So we're looking at April of this year. Okay, so we're looking at
Fine.
April 2025.
Mm-hmm.
How many new cars? Now, bear in mind, Jaguar aren't making cars anymore, but they obviously do have a lot of brand new cars sitting in dealerships all over the place. So they are still selling brand new cars, to clarify. So,
yeah.
So how many... Happy with the logic. That's what's going on. No new stock coming in, but they do still have a lot of stock out there. So you can still go and buy a brand new Jaguar. So for the month of April, how many cars did Jaguar shift worldwide of any model?
Okay, so for any model, presumably they have, but they're going to have F-Pace, I-Pace, few various bits and bobs kicking about. Yeah.
Various bits and bobs kicking around. Probably no XJs because that's been out of production for quite a while now. There'll probably be some XFs, some XEs, some F-types, some lots of F-Pace, some E-Pace. Yeah, a general sort of mix of those.
Okay.
So how many cars did they shift in the month of April worldwide?
Now, let's face it, I don't know the answer, but I do know the answer. Yeah, it's going to be low, but it's just a question of, in terms of guessing, how low do I guess?
How low do you go? Yes.
Right. Oh dear. But I mean, like I said, I know it's low, but it's like, do I really lowball it? No, I'm gonna. Well, 350.
350 cars worldwide, you're saying?
It's low, isn't it? But is it low enough? That's the massive question.
That is a really low number. That is a pathetically small number that you've guessed there. And it's a good guess. It's a good guess. And you would think that figure would represent, some serious problems. Unfortunately, as it turns out, they can only dream of numbers like that.
God, I knew it was going to be bad, but I thought.
Would you like to know how many cars Jaguar shifted globally in April?
Oh God, yes and no all at the same time. Go on.
Oh, we shouldn't laugh. It's really not good. They sold worldwide 49 cars.
For goodness sake. What?
That represents a 97.5% drop compared to the same month in 2024.
Oh, so quick maths on that. April previously, then 2000-ish.
for the previous year, it was about that. Yeah.
Oh, bloody hell!
49 cars. It's
And the relaunch is not with us yet. They don't make cars yet.
No, they're not making anything. Analysts are saying the drastic sales decline is largely attributed to the rebrand, and that just appalling marketing campaign.
Well, it was the marketing campaign that got everyone talking about Jaguar, and then they went silent, and that was it.
Like you say, whether you liked it or not, it got everybody talking about Jaguar.
And for a couple of times they plopped that. Oh God, I've forgotten the name of it. Type 00?
Type 00, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they've plonked that outside sort of fashion events here and there and everywhere, but
it was in Paris, wasn't it, at one point? And it's been around a bit, and people have been looking at it and saying, oh yeah. But the dramatic drop in sales, our survey has shown that is largely due to the reaction to that marketing campaign, and that people just don't want to buy Jaguars anymore.
Well, that went very well then. That's the end of that.
Yeah, well done, chaps. That was worth every £1 million you spent on that.
Oh God!
I think we're in really dangerous territory here. I don't think even Rover dropped as low as that.
No.
And it's a shame, because it's not that they've been producing a bad product. Whereas, arguably Rover were at the end.
To do such an aggressive rebrand and have absolutely no cars to back it up.
Yes.
One concept car which isn't going to be representative of the final product, really.
No, I can't see how it can be. But as you pointed out, they didn't even keep talking about that. They did the relaunch and then went quiet again. They deleted everything on their social media, so you couldn't even look at pictures of old Jaguars anymore. Everything was gone. Completely fresh start. The new launch stuff went in, and there's been nothing since.
So what we've ended up, we are watching the end of Jaguar now.
Well, it's beginning to feel like it, which is a real shame for those of us that are very kind of emotionally invested in the brand.
Yeah, buggered, isn't it?
It's just, well, we can always rely on you to cut to the chase there, and yes.
What have they done? How have you
busted it?
Yeah.
They've absolutely busted it. I mean, these figures. I mean, how can they even? Well, I mean, it's Range Rover, isn't it? That's keeping them afloat. That's keeping the lights on in the dealerships.
Yeah. I mean, Land Rover is alive and well.
Oh yeah, the record profits into the billions.
I just get the feeling now that the J portion of that particular company is going to be removed and then swept very quickly under the carpet.
I really hope that doesn't happen. It would be such a shame. But they have said, apparently, that the 2025 sales figures highlight a period of significant transition and restructuring as the brand moves towards an all-electric future, leading to a substantial increase in sales.
Whatever they are smoking, drinking, snorting in that boardroom, I think we all need a bit of that.
I think it would make the day go with a pop if we had some of that stuff, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Their ability and sheer determination to polish a turd is just admirable, isn't it? Yeah.
They do seem to have put an enormous amount of faith in the Type 00. And the Type 00 itself isn't the worst. As we discussed at the time, it does have some redeeming features. As a piece of concept design, it's not. It wasn't the worst thing to look at.
No, but it's all they've got. They've got some meaningless advert combined with a car that they don't talk about.
Yeah, because they just stopped the campaign, which made no sense.
And while they never published any figures, there's sort of speculation that, and the speculation that I read was reported in dollars, but they're estimated around $40 million for the rebrand.
That's okay.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money.
Yeah,
that's more money than you or I'll ever see.
Yeah, I mean, and that is speculation. That is not a confirmed figure, but
Oh my word!
it's going. If that's true or false, regardless, it's going to be a big number.
Yeah, it must. I mean, I know JLR as a whole are making was it something like £13 billion profit, something like that. Jaguar are going to be making a dent in that.
Pissing it up the wall.
Yes, yeah, okay. That's the other way of putting that.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm sorry, I can't sugarcoat it because they are bloody ruining it.
They are. Oh, it's so sad. And I was really kind of hoping that maybe somehow this relaunch they were going to find a way through it and it was going to work. And then we had the video and we're all just sitting there saying, what the hell is this? And now it has the result of that marketing launch, that relaunch, has translated into numbers. And I think what we all feared is what's happening. Everyone's just...
Come on, you read it out. It's not a bad thing. It's a transition.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, you remember? You read it out. It's fine.
We're in a period of significant transition. Yes. Significant transition and restructuring. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Shit.
That's bad, isn't it? I mean, we all knew it would be bad, but that's bad. I mean, you thought your guess was just a bit silly.
Yeah, it's like I knew I had to guess low, but I didn't realize I had to guess in the double digits. For goodness' sake,
we're not. Yeah.
So
it's not.
Okay.
I hate to end on that, but there's a reality, unfortunately, there, which is very, very saddening.
Yeah, I mean, there's an air of inevitability, but I think in the short term, I think the only thing that we can do is, while they're not relaunching and releasing cars, is we're going to have to keep an eye on these numbers, because it can't be long until we get the numbers for May, surely.
I haven't been able to find them, but they'll be along shortly, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's normally a couple of months delay on these sort of figures. Anyway, so.
Yeah, April was the latest I could find, and it was interestingly, I first heard the figure because it was something that Matt at High Peak Autos on YouTube mentioned for April, and pointed out that obviously he is a little used a car dealer in the north of England. He shifted more cars than that in April.
Oh my goodness me! And that's in a very specific area in the UK.
Yes, it is.
Blimey! Right? Okay.
That's where we're at.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll report back on the figures as they come in and see if they dwindle enough to a point where the CEO of Jaguar can hand deliver every single car.
Personally,
Yeah. Christ. Okay. Well,
only
that's it.
10 this month. Yeah, I've got time for that. Yeah, well,
Yeah,
he's got no
yeah.
other work to do, has he?
No. Well, no, he really doesn't. No, I'm afraid the ship has sailed. If they can pull it back, I'll be staggered. But I think they're done for.
It is beginning to look like it. I'm very sad about that.
Yeah, this is not. We're not doing this gleefully. This is a sad moment. But I just
Yeah, it genuinely is.
I don't see how they can pull this back.
I mean, we know the staff at the factory are now all building Land Rover.
Yeah. That's been widely reported. So
yeah. So
build what sells.
It's not going to be like Rover, where there was huge job losses and the closure of the factory and all that kind of thing. It's not going to be like that.
No, this will be different. I think jobs are relatively safe because they have a good amount of products that sell. Just none of them are badged Jaguar.
Well, I think that's probably enough of that for this week. Check us out on all the various social medias and things. Thank you very much for listening.